Taurus. November 2021 has a lot of good stuff in store for you. There's definitely going to be a focus on relationships and intimacy. And a lot of you are going to be building generational wealth in a way that you may not have been able to do before. This month is definitely going to be interesting. If you want to know more about what this month has in store for you, stick around and I'll explain all about it. What's up, Taurus? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things that you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. Speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me at Divine Feminine Works. Every day I've got loads of tarot, astrology, manifestation, and spirituality content. So head over to Instagram and follow me over there. All right, Taurus. So this is going to be your Astro Forecast and Tarot Scope for the month of November 2021. You know the deal. As always, we start with the astrology. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the month starts out with Scorpio season, specifically the sun being in the sign of Scorpio. And I find that people either love Scorpio season or hate it. A lot of people associate it with Halloween, with darkness, with all of that kind of stuff. And Scorpio season tends to be a very intense season, arguably the most intense season of the year. And that's because our focus and our consciousness is directed towards death, towards transformation, towards rebirth. This is the time of year where we venerate our ancestors. This is the time of year where we focus on really big changes, making changes in our life, things changing, things ending. And, sometimes people don't really necessarily take to that too well, but be that as it may, that is the essence of Scorpio season. And that's how we start out the month. Thereafter, on November 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And of course, as always, new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about a fresh, clean slate. And this particular new moon is going to have us focus on creating intimacy and transformation in our lives. Like I said, Scorpio season, all about transformation. So this new moon, if you are looking to really transform something in your life, if you're looking to put an end to certain things, to bad habits, if you are trying to start something new, regenerate something in your life, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you do it. It's going to be opposite to Uranus in Taurus and square to Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this element of surprise. There's going to be this element of shakeup, but there's also going to be a little bit of resistance, particularly if you're talking about regeneration, rebirthing something. Saturn, the square to Saturn is probably going to make things a little difficult, probably provide some obstacles, but it doesn't mean that your new beginning isn't going to happen. It just means that you're going to have to kind of work at it in order to get things going. But regardless, this new moon is going to be very powerful again in the sign of Scorpio on November 4th. Thereafter, on the next day, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And Mercury in Scorpio, just like I said before, how the sun in Scorpio is all about us focusing our consciousness on death, transformation, rebirth. Mercury in Scorpio sort of takes that a little bit further and has our thoughts really geared towards that. Everything about Scorpio is substantive, it's deep, it's truth-seeking, and that's where our thoughts are going to be going while Mercury is in Scorpio. It's also about like psychic abilities, it's all about telepathy, it's all about intuition, and it's also about addressing our emotions, particularly repressed emotions, and sort of making sense of them, trying to figure out what they are, processing them, all of that good stuff. Mercury in Scorpio is also about substantive communication. Scorpio is anything but superficial. Scorpio is very deep. And so with Mercury in Scorpio, how we speak to people, how we relate to other people is going to be more substantive. It won't be so much superficial sort of pleasantries and, all of that, kind of bullshit. It's really going to get deep, and we're going to be able to communicate with people on a much deeper level. All right, so that's Mercury in Scorpio. That same day, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. This is, again, November 5th. And Venus in Capricorn is very serious. Venus in Capricorn is serious love. It's commitment. Some say it has to do with soulmates and things like that. But apart from just relationships, Venus in Capricorn is also about long-term investments. It's about creating a nest egg. Capricorn is very much about status. It's about stability. And when you have Venus in this very sort of rigid sign, love is about providing. Love is about money. Love is about being taken care of in a tangible way. Okay. And, again, love gets serious. It gets practical. It gets down to earth. And Venus will be in Capricorn for about a month or so. So during that time, that would be a great time to start a financial plan, start saving. If you want to add more money to your 401k, Venus in Capricorn really allows you to do that with ease. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that energy while it's in there. All right. Now, the next thing is the full moon lunar eclipse on November 19th. And this is sort of the star of the month. Eclipses are like full moons and new moons on steroids. And this one in particular happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So this is like a full moon on steroids. It's like really the final culmination to some of your manifestations, or it's like really shining a spotlight on something that has been hidden for a while. I want you to think back, if you can, to May 2018. That is where this eclipse is sort of coming from. That's where this energy is sort of, that's how this started, right? And it's going to end with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And it's important to understand sort of how eclipses work. And they work typically on an axis. This particular axis is Taurus and Scorpio. And this particular full moon lunar eclipse kicks off a season of eclipses along the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 2 years. So all of the eclipses that we're going to have over the next 2 years are going to be along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And Taurus and Scorpio really, if I had to sum up what they represent, it's about resources. We've got Taurus on the one end, which is about personal resources. We've got Scorpio on the other end, which is about shared resources. I mean, there are different interpretations of Scorpio and Taurus, but for the most part, it's about resources. It's about tangible things. It's about having tangible things in your hand in Taurus and sort of emotional resources with Scorpio. Superficial stuff with Taurus, deep stuff with Scorpio. And that's sort of where we're going to see this play out over the next 2 years. Now, this is a partial lunar eclipse. It's not going to be a full lunar eclipse. So keep that in mind as well. This is going to, like I said, this is going to bring to light intentions that were set at the new moon in Taurus in May, thereabout 2018. So think back to 2018. What were you working on at that time? Taurus tends to be tangible. So there may have been tangible physical things you may have wanted to manifest then. You may finally see that manifestation come to fruition under this full moon lunar eclipse. And depending where this falls in your sign, this is where, this is the area of life that's going to be seriously illuminated under this eclipse. And so that is sort of how that's going to play out. Again, that's sort of the star event of the month. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's not some catastrophic sort of event. It's just something that's going to be really in your face. Something you may have been working towards for the last 2 years. Something may come to light. That's not necessarily bad. It may be something good that may come to light. But again, that's how that eclipse is going to play out. And again, that is on November 19th. Moving right along, we get to the sun moving into Sagittarius on November 21st, and that marks the beginning of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, I love it because it's very larger than life. Sagittarius is bold, it's adventurous, it's huge, it takes up space. and it's unapologetic. And that's sort of how we're going to be feeling once the sun transits into Sagittarius. Sagittarius favors long-term travel, higher education. So once the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, you may want to, go back to school. You may want to take a trip, but your thoughts may be focused on things that are kind of big. Sagittarius is really about like skipping the details and really looking at the big picture of things, particularly when it comes to things like religion, philosophy, law. So it's like, I always feel like during Sagittarius season, we all have these grandiose ideas and we think about things like philosophy and humankind and all of these things. Sagittarius season really stretches your mind. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, again on November 21st. And finally, the last thing that we have is Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. So Mercury started off in Scorpio, right? Well, actually it transitioned into Scorpio early in the month, and our thoughts were very deep. They were very substantive. Our communication was very deep and intense with people. Now when we move to Sagittarius, it's more bold. It's more in your face. It's more adventurous. Your thoughts are larger than life. Mercury in Sagittarius also favors foreign languages. So foreign languages may be something that comes to mind, something that you start learning about when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly with the sun also being there as well. It just favors different. You want to experience new things. You want to broaden your horizons via your thoughts and your communication. So you may find that when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you communicate with people who are much different than you, people who have a different perspective to add to your life. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very exciting because it's out of the norm. It sort of steps outside of the box and experiences different things that add this richness to your life. Which is a nice transition because Scorpio season, like I said, can be very intense. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's like we're really thinking about our emotions. A lot of us sort of turn inward towards our repressed emotions, really diving deep into our subconscious, into our psyche. And after that, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, now we're able to have some fun. We're able to broaden our horizons, experience adventures, experience new things. And like I said, add this richness to our lives that some of us really need. It's good to, stick with what you know, but Sagittarius season sort of has you break the mold and experience new, exciting things. So it's a very exciting time. And that's how we end the month. So this month is looking pretty good. There isn't too much turmoil, although Scorpio season in itself, being that it's so intense, things can come up, particularly repressed emotions, like I said before. But other than that, pretty chill month. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to seriously bring things to light, depending on where Taurus is in your chart. But other than that, we're looking at a good month nonetheless. So for you, Taurus, November brings an emphasis on your 7th house of relationships and your 8th house of intimacy and shared resources. Okay. So with the sun in Scorpio, it's going to be all about relationships for you, at least for the first half of the month. And Scorpio is all about depth and a lot about trust. So in your committed relationships and in your partnerships, whether business or personal, those are going to be the issues that are going to be at the forefront of your thoughts. And that is where all of your energy and attention is going to be focused. So when it comes to relationships, you guys are going to want to get serious. You're going to want to get down to the truth of the matter. And Scorpio in the 7th house, Scorpio as the 7th house, is all about being real and authentic. It's not just about the beautiful parts of relationships. It's also about the very real parts of relationships. The things that, don't get so glamorized, right? And being really true and authentic and deep and substantive. So that's where your energy and focus is going to be at the beginning of the month while the sun is still in Scorpio. When the sun moves into Sagittarius, that is when your focus is going to shift towards intimacy and towards shared resources. So if we talk about the 7th house being relationships, the 8th house is really about intimacy and sex, right? So for you, sex tends to be a bit adventurous, right? Because Sagittarius as a sign is all about adventure. It's about things being larger than life and doing different things. So a lot of you may find that Sagittarius season really makes you feel like being adventurous when it comes to sex. But when intimacy is concerned, intimacy obviously isn't just about sex. It's about doing things that are different, broadening your horizons with your partner. Sometimes when you experience new things with a partner, it helps to strengthen your bond. So a lot of you may be doing that during Sagittarius season. That may include learning something new together, deepening your faith together, taking a vacation, if you like, to some new and exotic place. All of those things sort of help to strengthen your bond. So you're going to focus on that, or maybe do some of those things during Sagittarius season, okay? Next up, we have the new moon in Scorpio on November 4th, which is going down in your house of relationships. So this is where you're going to want to set the intention to either further a relationship, take things to the next level, or if you're single, this is when you're going to want to manifest a committed relationship. And again, being that this is Scorpio, this is going to be something that is substantive. This isn't going to be some sort of a fling. This isn't going to be something that is fly by night. You're going to want to set the intentions for something real, true, authentic, and long lasting. Okay. Next up, we've got Mercury in Scorpio, which is transiting into Scorpio, right? Yeah. Mercury is going to be transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And this is where you're going to start thinking about relationships, start expressing yourself in relationships, or expressing yourself in the hopes of getting a relationship. And again, this is about speaking from the heart. This is about speaking from the soul. This is about language that is transformational when it comes to relationships. So think about taking your relationship to the next step, right? If you're thinking of getting engaged, this is when you would express that, right? This is when you're thinking about it. This is when you would express it. This is when you have those really heart-to-heart conversations with partners that can change your relationship forever, okay? It doesn't always have to be that dire. This could just be speaking about issues that you've had in your relationships, getting down to the nitty gritty and the heart of the matter, getting to the substance and the truth with respect to your relationships. And not even just that, the seventh house also covers everyone else. It covers like the public in a sense, the other. So this is really just speaking to people and relating to people on a very deep level. That's basically how Mercury in Scorpio operates, right? Next up, we have Venus transiting into Capricorn on November 5th. And this is going to be your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel. So Venus in Capricorn is about relationships that are serious, commitments, long-term investments. Venus in Capricorn is all about money. It's all about status. Now, with this being in your 9th house of long distance travel and higher education, some of you may be investing in things overseas. You may be engaged in foreign business or even relationships with people who are overseas or at a distance from you. This signifies having a long-term, long-distance relationship. At least that's going to be the focus at this time. This may be an attraction to things, like tangible things, that you find valuable, that are very different, of different cultures, of different ideologies. That's sort of how Venus in Capricorn is going to take place for you. All right. And then we have the star event of the month, which is the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, which is happening on November 19th. And this is going down in your first house of self. So I want you to think back to 2018, particularly May 2018. And at that new moon, you may have started to think about or started to set the intentions for things related to yourself. Maybe you had personal goals, right? Maybe you were trying to lose weight. And now at the full moon lunar eclipse on the 19th, you're going to see your weight loss, or maybe your weight gain, body changes, changes in your outlook, in your attitude, things that are personal to you, maybe an attitude adjustment, maybe your outlook on life is changing, and you're going to see that come to a culmination at this full moon lunar eclipse. Okay. For others of you, things about yourself are going to be illuminated in a very big way. Maybe it's an attitude and something is going to trigger that and you're going to see, wow, I really need to change this. Or maybe something with your body is going to be illuminated or uncovered during this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, okay? It doesn't have to be dire. This might be something really positive in your life, okay? Might also be a little surprising because we've got Uranus in the mix as well. It also might have to do with your stability because we also have, I believe it is Saturn Saturn is going to be square to this new moon. Yep, square to Saturn. So there may be some obstacles to overcome, but ultimately you'll be able to do it and you'll be much better for it. All right. Don't forget, new moons are all, I'm sorry. No, we're not talking about the new moon. We're talking about the full moon. All of that stuff I just said really has to do with the new moon. So scratch that. No, the full moon is going to be culminations and illuminations. All right. And then we have the sun moving into the sign of Sagittarius, which is going to light up your 9th house, which I mentioned already. And then finally, we have Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. And with that, that is going to be thinking about things differently, broadening your horizons, learning new things, particularly with respect to religion, philosophy, the law. Some of you may be going back to school at this point. Others of you may be doing research that really stretches your mind, okay? Mercury in Sagittarius is all about foreign language. So maybe some of you, if you've been wanting to learn a foreign language, once Mercury moves into Sagittarius, that is definitely what you're going to want to do. This is also about relating to people that are different from you, relating to people that are at a long distance. With Mercury in Sagittarius, that's also thinking differently. This is where you may want to plan a trip at this time. Plan an exotic trip to an exotic location that you've never been to. You're definitely going to do that when the sun and Mercury are in Sagittarius. All right. That's pretty much the rundown for you, Taurus, for the month of November. Now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Taurus, so you know the deal. We always start out with an oracle card for an overarching message, and then we circle back in with the tarot for more specific stuff. But this month, I'm doing something a little different. I'm giving you 3 separate messages. 1 general, 1 love, and 1 career and money. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. What can Taurus expect generally for the month of November? Ooh, Yang energy. All right. So Yang is all about masculine energy. It's all about expressive energy. So I see November being kind of active for you. I see you being pretty active, or at least very proactive, particularly when it comes to relationships, intimacy, and shared resources. Like I said, your 7th and 8th houses are the houses that are highlighted this month. And I see you being very, very proactive, very expressive, very go and get it kind of energy, which is really good. Okay. All right, let's get in with the tarot. See what else we got. The Taurus for November 2021. I like this. This is the 10 of Pentacles. This is the card of complete stability. This is all your pentacles, all your coins. I see you really being proactive about your stability, but I don't see you doing it alone. I see you doing it with someone, whether it's an intimate partner, a romantic partner, a business partner. Like, you are teaming up with someone or maybe even a group of people to really get shit done in the 3D, in the real world, tangible, like a lot of just work, but collaboration and cooperation. For some of you, this may be teaming up with a bank or a lender of some sort. So some of you, your stability is coming from other people's resources, okay? But in a good way. So even if you're taking on debt for something, it's ultimately going to work out really well, okay? Let's get one more card for this general message. What do we have here? Okay, we've got Thief. All right. So this is letting me know that even though you're going to be collaborating with people, you really need to be vigilant on who you are collaborating with. 7th house is also the house of open enemies, people who are haters in your face. Okay. So some people may be trying to steal physical money from you. I'm also getting some people may just be trying to steal your joy or steal your thunder. So be very wary of who you partner with. Make sure you vet them. Make sure you do background checks. Make sure you really understand who this person is that you're partnering with, because a lot of money is going to be involved. Even if you're dealing with a bank, you're going to want to do research, because there may be some shady stuff going on in the background that may affect your business, that may affect your relationships. Be vigilant, okay? I'm not trying to fear monger or anything like that, but you know, if you are being, especially when money is involved, if you're working with other people, you really need to vet them beforehand, okay? So forewarned is forearms when it comes to that. All right, let's move on to love and see what messages Spirit has for you. So for Taurus, how is love looking for November 2021? Ooh, I like this. Euphoria, okay? So for those of you who are looking for love, Spirit is saying like, be euphoric, be happy, and that's sort of going to attract that love to you. For those that are in relationships already, you guys are going to be enjoying a really good month, a really euphoric month, okay? And it's not just by yourselves. Like there is this energy of like lots of people around also. So of course you've got your relationship or your partnership, right? But I also see a lot of other people in the mix, having fun with them, being social. Like I see a lot of that this month too. Again, you're going to want to vet who you've got around you, but ultimately with relationships, it's going to be a very happy month. So enjoy it, right? Let's get some more here on relationships for you. This is too many. Relationships for Taurus. All right. Oh, I like this. This is the Knight of Cups. So this is like a beautiful offer coming your way. So some of you may be getting engaged. Some of you, like your relationship is going to go to the next level. I see like this Casanova kind of energy coming your way, or maybe you're the one who's going to extend your cup of love to somebody. But ultimately, it's like really beautiful energy when it comes to your relationships. Beautiful energy. All right, let's get one more here for relationships. Oh, that's way too many. Like there's like, I keep getting this, and there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of busy activity, a lot of people in the mix, a lot of fun, a lot of feeling good energy. You know, Scorpio is very much about sex also. And Mars is going to be in your 7th house of relationships. Mars and Scorpio all month. So a lot of you are going to be really driven to take your relationship to the next level, to offer your cup of love. Some of you, sex is going to be like a serious thing this month. Lots of sex, high sex drive. Enjoy it, okay? Let's get one more on relationships here. There we go. Look at what I said. Look at this card. Community. There's a lot going on in the community. There may be a lot going on in your immediate vicinity, but I see like you and your partner out and about. If you don't have a partner, be out and about, because I feel like that's where you're going to find your partner. I just see a lot of activity, a lot of people around, you know, starting in November, that starts the holiday season. People start getting together more. We've got Thanksgiving, we've got Black Friday. So it's like everyone's sort of getting into this community spirit. And I definitely see that happening for you this month, Taurus, particularly towards the end of the month. Okay. So relationships are looking good. All right. Now let's get into career and money for Taurus. We've got the tree. All right. So I'm hearing a couple of things for this. For some, and this is a number 8. This is number 8 or number 5. I can't tell. I think it's a number 5. Okay. So things are changing in a good way, though. Something that's very stable and long lasting. Some of you are setting up generational wealth with money this month. Like you're starting, or at least that's on your mind, or that's your focus, like setting up a legacy. And that really speaks to this card as well, this 10 of Pentacles. This is the card of legacy, of ancestry, of money that you are willing and bequeathing to family members. Like that is the mindset that you've got with career this month, and generally as well. But I also feel like whatever you plant is going to have very deep roots. Okay. And if we're talking about Scorpio, Scorpio is also very deep, right? There is some sort of ancestor veneration or some sort of focus on ancestry that's going to be really important during Scorpio season. Okay. Particularly when it comes to your business relationships, like allow your ancestors to help you. Okay. But know that whatever you're building is going to be very long lasting. And I feel like that is the mindset with which you're going to approach these relationships. That's the mindset that you're going to approach with your businesses and stuff as well. Some of you your lineage is really important. So some of you may be embarking on like having kids, I'm getting, setting up a family legacy. Others of you, just allow your ancestors to help you. Don't forget about them. Scorpio season is all about venerating our ancestors. And some of you need to do that this month in order to get things rooted. Okay, let's get some more cards here. All right, we've got the 8 of Pentacles, which is about work. So I definitely see you guys getting to work and making things happen. There's a lot of earth energy here, I must say, with these cards. A lot of pentacle energy. So it's about tangible work. It's about tangible money. It's about putting money into relationships, putting money into businesses. But regardless, you guys are really like working this month. And again, whatever you're working on has long-lasting effects, okay? So remember that. Let's get one last card to close out this reading. Thank you. All right, we've got message. Interesting. So I see that some of you are going to be getting a message regarding your career, some correspondence. Some of you are going to be sending out correspondence. Some of you, I'm seeing like invitations being sent out. So maybe you're having an engagement party and you're sending out invitations to a lot of people. Maybe you're just communicating with, I told you, there's a lot of people around you this month, Taurus. So maybe you're just communicating with people a lot. And I see that whoever you're communicating with, it's like you're meant to communicate with them. It's like they're on your path, the path that you're supposed to be on. I see you communicating with these people this month, you know? So there's a lot of good stuff happening for you, Taurus, in November. So to recap, we've got this work energy, this expressive energy, this yang energy that you're really putting into your relationships, whether business or personal. And you've got a lot of money around you. You're either spending a lot of money, you are getting a lot of money. Perhaps you are partnering up with a lender, or maybe your partner is giving you money, but a lot of money regardless. Just be wary of who you partner with, because there are some people who may be trying to take your coin or steal your thunder. All right. When it comes to relationships, things are going to be euphoric and happy and just amazing. I feel this such warm, amazing energy when it comes to your relationships this month. Someone may be offering their cup of love, taking their relationship to the next level. I see a lot of celebration. I see a lot of people around you. Things on relationship tip are really good this month. And finally, when it comes to career, don't forget your ancestors, okay? Some of you need to do ancestor veneration. Others of you, whatever you're planting is generational wealth. It's going to be here for the long term, for years and generations to come. And get to work, get the news out there, communicate with people, and everything will be really good this month, all right, Taurus? Things are really looking good. All right, Taurus, that has been your Astro Forecast and Taroscope for the month of November 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out in the description box below, don't forget to check out my website and sign up for my newsletter. Everything I talk about in these videos, I give out to my newsletter subscribers on a regular basis, including extras like freebies, advice, discounts. So you're definitely going to want to sign up for that. Again, those links in the description box below. My loves, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, and tips are always greatly appreciated, I will leave that link in the description box as well. Taurus, this month is looking great for you, especially when it comes to relationships. Enjoy it. Enjoy the euphoria. You deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.